It is 12:34. Welcome back in. It's three-man front. Pat Landrum, Conrad and Molly with you until 2 o'clock. Trey Wallace from Outkick joins us each and every week on this program talking college football. What else are we going to be talking about this time of the year, right? Trey joins us now on the Higginbotham Hotline. First and foremost, Trey, how was week 0 for you? Did you enjoy the festivities?
I mean, it was good. I mean, I'll take it. The first game was fun. Fresno State, Kansas game was kind of lackadaisical, and then all of a sudden, you get Stanford and Hawaii that comes down to the wire, and you got a guy that learned how to kick on YouTube, winning the game for Hawaii. I mean, I couldn't write it up any better, man. I know it was an appetizer, but it was college football, and I'll take it.
Well, there's no doubt about that. And, of course, now week 1, we've got a bunch of SEC teams, including the game that you're going to go to, and I'm looking forward to talking to you about this. So you will be there in Columbus, Ohio. Matter of fact, you were there for the college football playoff when Ohio State embarrassed Tennessee. Your thoughts on Texas and Arch Manning heading up there playing the defending national champion?
Yeah, I think this is it's a pivotal game because it's the first game of the season, but also at the same time, you look at the stars that are going to be on the field for this one, and to me, that's what stands out the most. You look at Texas defense. You look what Ohio State does on their side of the ball. What are they going to roll with Caleb Downs? Are they going to try to play that off? Like, how is Arch going to deal with Wingo on the outside? Who can you get open? You look at the other side of it, and it's, okay, you got Julian Sayin at quarterback. Who's going to guard Jeremiah Smith down the field? You could throw 2 men on him if you would like, but he's still going to find a way to get the ball. And then it opens it up for Carnell Tate. And obviously the Art situation. Like, there is such an aura around him. And I think when you look at it overall on this platform, on this national stage against the defending national champions, to me, it's all about not getting overhyped for what he does, and also not getting disappointed if he comes out and throws for 240, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. To me, it's all about just managing expectations, and I think one of the most interesting parts of this all, you add in the new CFP metrics that they're saying they're going with, which would be strength of schedule. If this one's close, I mean, it's not really going to hurt either team, whoever loses. And I think that just kind of adds to the craziness of this entire game. So couldn't be more excited about this one. I think it's going to live up to the hype. And I think either way, we're going to come out of this and we're like, okay, Arch did this, Arch did that. What's it going to look like in the future? Like, I feel like this one's going to be one of those that we remember for a long time.
Yeah, and that's where I wanted to go with you, Trey. All of these expectations, it seems like a part of it is fair, but part of it is unfair in what's been placed upon Arch Manning. When you look at this Texas team, not only in this game, but the rest of their schedule, for Texas to play for a national championship, how good does Arch Manning really have to be when you look at the surrounding pieces?
I mean, I think he needs to, and I talked about this. I've talked about this before. I wrote an article about it today. I think that, if he comes out and throws for 250 yards and connects on a couple of touchdowns, and he kind of even mentioned it too. It's like, I'll throw that first interception. What's the public outrage going to be like? I love the fact that he has this mentality this week where it's like, whatever. Like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do what I have to do, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to perform. And however this goes. Like, he's not letting it get to his head. I think that's the most interesting factor out of this all. And look, he comes from a family. They understand the spotlight. He's learned it. He's learned it during his time at Texas. And you add all of that up. I'm not trying to tell people what to do. But what I am saying is, don't go crazy if he does good. Don't go crazy if he doesn't do good. Like, this is really the first big game. I know he started last year a few games, but at the same time, we have to realize this is still a guy that's learning how to play football. And if he can come out and he can put up the stats, then so be it. Like I at the end of the day, I think he has enough weapons around him on offense to be able to win this football game against Ohio State. And then you look at what he has on defense. I think it's going to be an interception, something along those lines, inside the 20-yard line. It sets him up for maybe an easy touchdown, and some of the pressure is taken off of him. But I look at it, and I think Steve Sarkisian also is going to try to do his best to not maybe put him in situations that would not make him crumble underneath the pressure, but also at the same time maybe scare Ohio State a little bit. You know, like we think we know what Arch Manning is. We think he's going to be a Heisman candidate, but we really don't know. And to me, that's what adds to the intrigue about this entire game is, okay, let's see what he's got here, but then realize this is the first game of the season. We got a long way to go. So I don't think the pressure is going to get to him, if I'm being honest with you. But if it does, let's see how he responds. He's had himself a coaching staff that has measured expectations around him. They just want him to go out there and run the offense. So let's see how it plays out. To me, that's the biggest thing. And social media is not real life. You guys know that. But come Saturday afternoon, if he throws a couple interceptions, but they still win the game, I'm curious to see how that reaction is.
Trey Wallace joins us from Outkick for a few more minutes talking college football week number 1. I wanted to get your thoughts on Auburn visiting Baylor. Vegas says it's going to be a very close game. Baylor had a very nice finish to last season, a lot of optimism down on the plains. One way or another, let's say Auburn loses that game. Does that change your outlook for this upcoming season for Auburn?
I mean, yes, in a sense. This is going to be a tough game for Auburn. Going on the road to Baylor Friday night, Waco is going to be loud. It's going to be an interesting environment. Can Jackson Arnold, be the guy that quiets the outside noise per se when he gets to the line of scrimmage? I think the unfortunate part for Auburn is that there's been so many off-season storylines, surrounding this football team. It's like, okay, just come out and perform. Like, get the win. Like, they have better talent than Baylor. I've gone up and down this roster. You got better talent than Baylor. But you guys know this more than anybody. Anything can happen on these Friday night, Saturday games. You're going on the road to start the season. The expectations from inside the building, obviously, you go there to win. But to me, too, it's how much pressure do they take off Jackson Arnold in the first half by trying to run the football? And what's that offensive line? I know what Auburn has on defense. But let's look at the offensive line. And overall, the perception, if they lose the game, there's no way of denying it. There's going to be a lot of members of the Auburn fan base that are going to freak out. And that's okay. That's fine. But at the same time, remember that, okay, we still got a full season left here. How much are we going to try to put this on Hugh Freeze if Auburn comes out and, I don't know, scores 24 points, but, loses because they gave up 31? To me, that's where the different storylines are going to come into play with this one, because I do think Auburn's going to win the football game. But at the same time, a couple of mistakes here and there, obviously he's going to flip the game. And really, it all depends on how you lose. If you go out to Waco and you lose on a last-second field goal or a touchdown within the last, 2 minutes of the game and Auburn's got to drive the field and they come up short, all right, that's one thing. But if you go out to Baylor, let's just say you only score 17 points and, Baylor's, maybe putting up 28 points, something like I really do think it comes down to what that final score is. And I know that's easy to say, but also we've been through this last 7 months of the Hugh Freeze era at Auburn. And I just feel like right now, if they lose, it's like a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. But at the same time, I think they got enough talent to go win, and it shouldn't be quite that big of a problem. But anything can happen in college football, and that's why, like what happens if Auburn loses? When's the first golf story going to come out? Monday, Sunday morning? Like, I know somebody has one ready to go just in case they lose, so they can put, Auburn didn't succeed because Hugh Freeze was on the golf course 8 times during the month of July. Like, so that to me is the interesting part of this is, what's going to be the flavor coming out of this. And to me, it's Auburn, just go take care of business. I know you can win this football game. Let's go see it on the field. Stop Baylor's offense. I know Baylor's going to try to test you down the field multiple times, but again, this narrative around Hugh Freeze, I think that's just something we're going to have to deal with for the entire season.
Trey, what in particular are you looking to learn as Alabama visits Doak Campbell and takes on Florida State?
Let's see what they can do against his running quarterback. I mean, Thomas Castellanos. I mean, to me, that's the biggest thing. Besides the fact, okay, what do they try to do here with Ty Simpson? They try to get Ty Simpson in the pocket 4 or 5 times in the first half and test them deep. You know, let's see if we can get 40 yards down the field. How much did they try to open it up on the offensive side? Because I think Alabama's defense is going to give Florida State a bunch of problems. I really do. But it's how do they offset running back injury? Okay, do they try to establish the line of scrimmage? This is going to be a different Kalen DeBoer team this year. The defense is there. In my opinion, the offense is there. Like, it's going to come out tomorrow, but I'll go ahead and tell you guys now. I got Alabama playing in the national championship game against Clemson.
Oh, breaking news! Now hold on a second. We got to do this up big here. Hold on, Trey. All right, this is what we do on this program. Here we go. Hit it.
That sound means there's breaking news here on the show. For more, we send it to Pat Smith at the 3-Man Front Breaking News Desk.
Thank you, Landrum. You just heard this moments ago. Trey Wallace from Outkick is declaring Alabama will play for the national championship in 2025. Trey, how about that? We kind of did it up big for you.
It is big, and I'm glad you guys did it. It makes it a lot better in this situation because I was going back and forth this week, and I'm like, all right, yeah, like this is going to be the team, like, and I do think they can be. I really do. I think that they're going to have enough out of Simpson, that offensive line, the defensive side of the ball. Kalen DeBoer was learning in year 1, okay? Now I think he's settled in. He's got his buddy there running the offense. He can trust him with that. I think Alabama has enough talent to do this thing, and I think they're going to make an example out of Florida State. I think it's, maybe a little close in the first half. But then Alabama starts to break away in the third quarter, and by the fourth quarter, Florida State fans are wondering, are we going to see a repeat of 2024?
Trey, you have no idea what you did for our own Conrad Van Order, Alabama grad, diehard Bammer. He just lit up a cigarette and he's in a bathrobe.
He's crying.
Thank you, Trey. I really needed that today, man.
Go have yourself a drink with that cigarette, buddy, and enjoy it. 'Cause I think this is going to be a very fun season for Alabama. I really do. I think they shut down the narratives from last year, and can Kalen DeBoer follow a legend? All right, Nick Saban's been gone. That story's done with. And at the end of the day, if you just look at the talent on the field, Alabama has it. And we all know things can happen in the playoffs, and I get that completely. But if we're just looking at it right now, I do have them playing for a national championship, and I just think that Saturday, especially if it's pouring down raining there, and that lines up perfectly what Alabama's trying to do. And it also takes the ability from Thomas Castellanos to be able to run the football.
That is Trey Wallace. He will be in Columbus, Ohio for the number 1 versus 2 matchup. Trey, always appreciate your time. We look forward to catching up with you next week.
Thanks, Trey.
Guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy it. It's going to be a lot of fun starting tomorrow night all the way through next Monday night. So thanks for having me, and have a good weekend.
Safe travels, friend.
Thank you, Trey. Thank you very much. He joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Wasn't ready for all that.
I wasn't either. I was not prepped for that.
There's a lot to take away from what Mr. Trey Wallace just told us. We'll do it next on 3-Man Front.